fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going the outside of both of them. Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go.
Oh no!
That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
Are you spending a lot of time looking for setups and struggling for faster lap times? Are you tired of searching online for answers? Would you like to get setups, analysis and tutorials from some of the best sim racers in the world like Ralph Alla, Mitchell de Jong, Martin Krunker, Josh Rogers and many more? If so, virtualracingschool.com is the answer you've been looking for. VRS data packs provide hot laps from our professional coaches for you to analyse and replicate. They provide tutorials that walk you through the fastest laps and what the pros did to achieve the best times. And they provide the setups you need to ensure your car is competitive in both oval and road racing. If you're ready to get faster and reach more podiums sooner than later, just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a free account today.
Good afternoon all. We are here in Wisconsin here for Road America. So this is going to be the last round of the Roadster Rumbles here in the MX5 class. So we've both in that pro points and in the amateur points table as well. It's both been pretty close as well. So a lot of drivers out here tonight wanting to get a pretty clean race in, not wanting to make too many mistakes. We are going to try and cut to the points table where we can. We've still got a few of our MX5s. We are in our just finishing up our practice session here at the moment. So we are going to go to a 10-minute qualifier here with 2 laps as well. So that's going to be quite interesting to see. Road America, traditionally a pretty large track, but we are cutting to our Roadster Rumble. Here is our pro. Here with Sonny Kenshin. We have seen Sonny in both the Roadster Rumble and the GT4s as well. He is actually having some pretty good luck here at the moment, as well with Todd George. About 140 odd points in behind as well. So Sonny does have one hand on that championship cup there at the moment. Lee Harrison only 40 points behind there in 3rd place, so he'll be one to watch as well. He's quite competitive in setting up those setups and getting everything dialed there. So Glenn Wood in behind him as well. Damien Seeger there. Ashley Norman from Chicken Up Racing. Wayne Losh. Moz Miraz, we've seen also quite a number of those drivers there in between the GT4s here and the Roadster Rumble as well. We've got Joe Proctor and Lucas Mikulev there on 1,308 points there in 10th place. So we are going to cut hopefully to our AM table as well there. So we do have Mark Foster there with Neil McKenzie, Caleb Patterson, Brenton Bull, Dave Gogel, Darren Linus, Anthony Connors there as well, is doing really well there in 7th place. Jamie Willits we haven't seen too much of, Bud Rodkin and Ben Ferguson. So all in there pretty tight as well. A little bit tighter at the front there for the AM class. So it's there'll be action of plenty there. I'm with Reese Gardner here. So Reese, run us through what your strategy would be tonight. We do have 2 35-minute heats, so pretty much 2 sprint races you could say.
Yes, indeed, and they'll be helping to set the grid for our feature, which is also running for 11 laps here tonight at Road America. And this is a place that, as I said last night in the Extreme GT4 series, a very familiar battleground to us here at SimSpeed TV. A brilliant circuit is Road America, 6.5 kilometers in length. It's been around since the mid-1950s, and the layout, the base layout, has not changed at all in all of that time. It's a bit of a rarity, Nick. Road America, one of the few tracks to still have the layout it opened with.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in quite a lot of corners as well. I think it ends up being around those 14 corners as well. Over 6 kilometers in length. So we're just still seeing actually just off screen at the moment. We actually haven't had any cars come through and get onto their first lap yet. So we are going to have a bit bit more of a look at these static shots that we have here.
Yeah, the drivers are all out on their out laps at the moment in this big field of MX-5s. Looking at the 747 of Damien Seeger at the moment as he makes his way out of Canada corner. It looks like he's just coming round to start his first hot lap. There's plenty of time for the drivers to get their laps in here, but because the lap is just so long at Road America, and we are racing in the global Mazda MX-5 Cup, it means that a lap around here is about 2.5 minutes, give or take a couple of seconds. So that means that you have to get out there as soon as possible and get both of your laps in before the timer runs out. They might only just be able to fit both of their hot laps in here as Seeger begins his hot lap.
Yeah, absolutely there. So you really can't afford to make too many mistakes here as well. There's Road America, quite fortunate, has fair bit of runoff there, but of course,
Oh.
just as I say that, actually potentially that MX-5 might have gone a whisker too wide there. But yeah, just as we saw there, you cannot put any tires on the grass there at all, and these obviously these MX-5s have no aerodynamic assist at all, and all about momentum. You can generally the fastest way to drive these is right on the limit and to run the car out as wide as you possibly can.
And of course, the drivers will be dealing with a relatively new change to the MX-5 as well, as they have for, I suppose, the last few months. The MX-5 used to have an H-pattern gearbox, but in line with updates to the global Mazda MX-5 Cup in real life, they've switched to a race spec 6-speed sequential gearbox, and it's created a little bit of a different driving dynamic to these cars, but certainly you can throw them around as much as ever, as we just saw there.
Yeah, I do believe, I think that might have been having a bit of a look there at Lee Harrison there. So it's through that carousel section there, you don't really want to run it out too wide there. So it's actually cool, actually. I know it is the last round. I actually haven't seen that paint there. You can actually see that down that back of the circuit there. You pretty much hold it pinned all the way. Pulling up, you'd have to say speeds of around, have to actually find out, about 190 to 200 kilometers an hour, which would feel fast in an MX-5, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that it would. I mean, it feels fast driving at 100 in my MX-5 on the road. Lee Harrison's going to come up now to the final couple of corners, and the driver of the number 26 set a reasonably good time in practice there. In fact, he topped the practice session, so it's going to be all about that exit from the final corner up the hill to the line here. We'll see what he can hold on to. One of the first drivers to set a time here in the qualifying session, and it's going to be a 2:32.3, but Sonny Canchin has gone faster on provisional pole at the moment by 0.4.
Actually, Canchin putting in quite a gap there, but as we see with these MX-5s, you can build the heat up in those radial tyres just a little bit more. Actually, one thing I'm just maybe even a little bit distracted by there with Lee Harrison's, that Palmer's colour scheme there with the big coconut on the front of the car there. So very cool to see there some of the really cool sponsor liveries as well. So Sonny Canchin though, 0.4, and then you could say pretty much between I believe that is Marty Turner from Chicken Up and Todd George there as well, so only separated by 0.005 of a second. So it is, aside from Sonny Canchin, it's still very, very tight there through that top 10.
That it is, and we take a look at Martin Turner at the moment as he's on his second lap in the number 49. Chicken Up drivers have certainly been a constant presence in these events for the longest time, and we both had the pleasure of racing against them in the Aussie Car Turbo Touring Car League when that was running. Marty Turner currently in third, a very good time to be set so far. Nick Wood, meanwhile, just rounding out the top 5 ahead of our top AM qualifier so far. Caleb Patterson has set a 2:32.7, and he's got 4 at least probably closer to 7 pro drivers in between himself and the next AM, which is the 777 of Jesse Carrick.
Yeah, I'd have to say my first exposure there to the Chicken Up guys were definitely at I almost forgot the Bathurst 2 hours and 20 minutes there, where they would jump in the. They'd always be between a few classes and absolutely dominate and really stick us all on the sword there as well. So not only experts in endurance, but also experts in these sprint races, as you can see on board with Caleb Patterson coming around the back of the circuit now. So previous there of that 2 minutes 32. Very, very tight there up the top. So surely he can improve on that.
Yeah, it looked like he had a little bit of understeer there through the final corner. The front end was fighting him a bit. Hopefully he's carried enough momentum onto the straight to improve on his time. Will he be able to do it? Patterson actually looks like not able to get a time in at all on that lap. He picked up an off track somewhere along the way. That's slightly disappointing for him, but the second set of times are flowing in. Damien Seeger's managed to go up to P5. Darren Sharp has gone up to 33rd as Graham Ellis pips him. Steve McMahon up to 8th. Lucas Mikhailov up to 28th place in the 202. Majority of drivers have set times here.
Yeah, we are seeing quite a lot of those MX-5s parked along down the side of the track there as well. How great is that Simworx livery? I love it every time I see it there with Lucas Stasi on board. Currently in 17th place, so a little bit further down the line there at the moment. But massive, massive field, as you can imagine there. Goes all the way down to almost 45 cars or so. And just actually having a good look there. We're actually missing a few really good drivers there, as well as Aaron Oliver and David Gogol. Not registering a time there at all, and it isn't an endurance. They are all out there on their own. So especially for Dave Gogol there, he's right in the mix of the championships. Not wanting to start too far down the line there.
No, certainly not. Talking about Lucas Stasi, he put in an excellent time there to go up to P6 in the dying seconds of the session, and Jamie Willits should be able to complete a lap here, hopefully, towards the end of the session. Still plenty of time to get up to the line there, but seems to me that aside from Gogol and Oliver, all of our drivers have set times. What will Willits be able to do in the 44? Well, he wasn't quite able to improve on the time there. He remains in 24th, but final seconds of the session now. The only car out on track is Adam Marinovic.
Yeah, and Sonny Kenshin, you'd have to say they're untouched, so pretty much has commanded that pole position all the way from the start there, from that first lap. Lee Harrison sneaking up into that second place, so he's having a bit better luck tonight.
He is indeed. Well, that's qualifying over, Nick. Time to go through our very extensive grid.
That is correct. So we do have Sonny Kenshin and Lee Harrison. They're on our row 1 there. Marty Turner and Todd George there on row 2. Damien Seeger and Lucas Stasi there on row 3. We'll have to make this pretty quick there. Nick Wood, Ivan Ventigiato. Great to see Ivan out there. He'll be definitely one to watch there. Steve McMahon and Caleb Patterson there in 10th.
And Glenn Wood starting out of 11th alongside Joel Proctor. Mos Moroz is starting lucky 13th alongside Ben Ferguson. Then we got Ashley Norman and Wayne Losh on row 8. Mark Foster and Jesse Carrick 17th and 18th. Top 20 rounded out by Tane Van Abels and Brody Cook. Then it's Andrew Hobby and Matt Van Egmond starting outside the top 20 with Greg Holmes and Jamie Willits 23rd and 24th.
Yeah, Andrew Hobby there a little bit further down, so we've only got 20 seconds to go, but here's Neil McKenzie, Anthony Connors, Simon Smith, Adam Sharp, Brenton Bull, and Dylan Canto there, Luke Claver, Darren Linitz, sorry, Lucas Mikulev, as we saw in qualifying, Philip Paradisio, Adam Marinovic, and Carl Goga there on row 18. And I do believe we are about to start, so that is our last of our running cars.
Yes, my timing's still showing as 35 seconds to go before the race goes green. I think there's been a little bit of an extended gridding time there as we wait for all of the drivers to make their way onto the grid. Have a look at that. We've got drivers starting, going up the hill, but the revs are rising, Nick. We're going green.
We are going green there. We'll see how that jump is from Sonny Kenshin there. Sonny is there away there. I think that is one of the Simworx cars They are running 3 wide. They are actually off screen there. We are seeing them all running down to turn 1 there. Sonny Kenshin though clear at the moment. No one up his inside. And it does look like that is Lee Harrison. That is Marty Turner, I believe, in 3rd place.
Yeah, Marty's held on to 3rd there as the field makes their way through turn 1. It's pretty clean up the front, but have a look at this gaggle of cars in the midfield. Everyone just trying to sort themselves out here. Slight contact between Mark Foster and Brody Cook, and oh my goodness, that is a big incident there. Who has gone off there? That's Glenn Wood.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Glenn Wood. He did qualify quite up the order there, so he'll be a bit disappointed. It is pretty early days though. We do have 35 minutes on the clock, so potentially he could maybe make his way back up there, but he is currently sitting around that 30th place, I believe.
Yes, so not a good first lap there. He made contact with Joel Proctor coming out of turn 3. Have a look at this racing here in the midfield. Brody Cook trying his best to hold off Joel Proctor, sorry. Oh dear, we've got another car around going off and into the grass, and that's Brenton Bull, who's started in 29th place. He's going to be all the way at the back of the grid now. A few drivers not having the best lap 1 here.
Yeah, Brenton Bull, unfortunately, sitting around that 4th place there as well. Just trying to get our timing screen to it's kind of mayhem anywhere you look on the timing screen on the circuit. But we can tell you that is Sonny Kenshin there at the moment, leading Lee Harrison. So we are seeing, I think that is Wayne Lush there in that blue TV car as we come around the back of the circuit. There we have seen a few, few scary moments there. A few of those MX-5s there just running it so wide into the grass. Obviously these off tracks aren't going to matter too much now that it's racing. Qualifying is done, but just trying to get around the track without any contact, I think, is going to be the aim of the game.
There's so many cars, I don't really know where to look, eh? It's been a bumper field coming out here at Road America, and plenty of action all around the circuit. That group of cars there behind the leaders sorting themselves out. It's Ashley Norman and Moz Moros side by side at the front. Going into the pits is Brody Cook. Maybe he got a penalty that he has to serve.
Yeah, potentially a jump start or something along those lines, but you have to say there for Norman and Moz Moros, very familiar with each other. Both of them, I believe we might have had an accident there off screen. I actually haven't caught it up.
Oh dear, we got a spinner. Moz Moros spinning in turn 1. We just saw him having that very close battle with Ashley Norman, and it looks like 3 wide on the way to turn 1 was what caused that. We're going to see the replay here.
Just seeing Moz Moros rejoining the circuit there, but 3 into 1 there, and just that touch there on that right-hand rear while the car was unloaded there. They don't require all that much there to turn around on themselves, so Moz Moros would be pretty upset about that, especially being so high up. He was sitting around in that top 10 of the championship, so he'll be desperate to try and get some points there. Sorry, we just caught another incident off screen there. I think that was with Adam Sharp. Wayne Losh as well, also in an incident as well. So very different dynamic to the GT4 racing, where GT4 is a lot faster and a few less cars here, but it's always with the MX-5s, always so much action wherever you turn.
That's Willits getting by Sharp there, and all through the hurry down, someone trying to force the issue on the inside there. Greg Holmes we're focusing on at the moment, and involved in quite the battle as they go into the carousel. That's a car going fairly wide in the corner. Looks like Joel Proctor, who's now having to go side by side with Matt Van Egmond on the exit here. Van Egmond manages to just edge ahead, but side by side into the kink. Certainly not what you want to do there. It looks like Canto and Holmes sorting out their battle very nicely there. Holmes is actually coming under a lot of pressure from Lucas McAuliffe there on the inside, coming up to Canada Corner. One of the best passing zones on this circuit. Looks like McAuliffe managing to get it done, but it's all going off behind again. Darren Linus getting spun around. Carl Carl Goodger making rear-end contact with him on the way into Canada Corner there.
Yeah, I did see one of those SRT cars, unfortunately getting caught up in that as well, so I think that might have been Darren Sharp from the Sharp Racing team.
For the lead. Sonny Canchin, he's gotten drafted by Lee Harrison, who goes up the inside into turn 1.
Yeah, Lee Harrison parking it right in front of him. I was quickly going to jump in and say great work there by Greg Holmes as well, battling pretty hard. Being our league DSO, so definitely be looking at all the driving standards, and great to see him battling along. Great work there by Lee Harrison though, absolute picture perfect there. Parked it right on that apex in front of Sonny Canchin, who had nowhere to go, so Canchin now going to be under a lot of pressure by momentum.
Yeah, Turner getting the double draft, and he's got more momentum than these guys, but Canchin, he's starting to round up Lee Harrison around the outside of turn 5. Last of the late breakers into turn 5. These cars have anti-lock brakes, so you can really push them into the braking zones, but Canchin around the outside, managing to take the lead back from Lee Harrison there. Excellent move as everyone tries to sort themselves out behind. Canchin looks pretty well in control at the moment as we check out the battle for 9th, and that is quite a long train of cars.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've all just got to try and sit in with that lead pack at the moment, because you can imagine any slight mistake there and get swallowed up so quickly. Great work there by Sonny Canchin as well. Such a they really go down that hill, so it's quite a long braking zone as they come down as well. He's still sitting around that 3/10 out of Lee Harrison there at the moment, so he hasn't gotten away with it, not by the slightest at the moment, so we are looking a little bit further back. Vantigiato there battling with Wayne Losh. Those two are separated by about 0.2 of a second. Great to see Vantigiato there back out. Rained a bit of mayhem back in the touring car days, so it's cool to see him behind the wheel of an MX-5 there as well. Andrew Hobby as well. So competitive. These two are always right at the front of some of the leagues. Audi S4 battles that we had earlier this year.
Oh, Vantagiato and Losh, they both went off the circuit at Canada Corner. That's allowed Andrew Hobby by Wayne Losh. As we look back a bit further forward, Nick Wood in the orange and white machine holding off Todd George, and a little bit further back once again. Not much happening in terms of battles at the moment, but we will get a replay of the incident with Wayne Losh, and yeah, he thought about a move up the inside, but just went a little bit too deep. Fortunately, both drivers were able to hold on to it.
Yeah, plenty of runoff there around that part of the section around Canada Corner. Even though it is a really long braking section there, plenty of kitty litter there to kind of catch him up there, and didn't lose too much time either. We are looking back at our leaders again. Lee Harrison there. Haven't really seen too many overtakes around that part of the circuit there. It is quite narrow. These two are going to absolutely drag race through, and you can see there, I think that is Lucas Stasi in behind and Marty Turner with no really where to go. They're going to actually have to sit in behind as they fan out 2 by 2.
Yeah, not enough space to make it 3 wide in this part of the circuit, but my goodness, Lucas Stasi trying around the outside of Marty Turner here to try and take 3rd place. He's going to have to yield that to the chicken up driver, but round the outside of Sonny Canchin goes Lee Harrison. Canchin still has a little bit of overlap coming into this left-hander. Harrison's going to have to be careful. Does give him room and gets the better exit, so he will be ahead coming into the hurry downs. Unfortunately, that puts him in prime position to be passed again into Canada Corner.
Yeah, absolutely. There you can see Lee not really taking too much of a defensive line. That really is a bit of a left and a right through here, so not too much of an overtaking spot. And then you can see them all balance the car around the carousel here. Just having a little bit further back here. One of the Sharp Racing cars as well. And quite a second-hand looking MX-5 behind Mitchell's car there.
Oh, I just saw Sonny Canchin try to go up the inside at the kink. He backed out of it as Hobby and Ferguson continue their battle. Looks to me like Hobby winning that one out coming into the kink. He's got a good gap ahead to those cars up in front, but he's going to have to be wary of the draft. Harrison and Canchin, though, side by side again into Canada Corner. And there we go, Sonny Canchin back by for the lead of the race, but Lee Harrison is not going to let him get away with this.
To say as well, both Lee and Sonny there running side by side is absolutely holding them up there. So I think these almost the top 10 they're separated by it was over about a second and a half there, but they're all within about 2 seconds of each other. And if these two keep on fighting, he's actually going to push in. I think that he's taking Venables and actually that second pack in behind, so they might actually be able to bridge that gap over if these two keep fighting it out. You can see Lee Harrison there, definitely with that speed advantage coming along the straight there. He's going to actually show a nose here again for the attack. Looks like he does back out of it there. Sonny Kanchan there, very, very late on those brakes.
Yeah, Harrison had to worry about Stassi on the outside of him as well. Stassi has done very well. He's actually managed to snatch third place from Martin Turner as we ride on board with Lee Harrison. And the top two, they've got a little bit of a gap over everyone else here in the top 10 at the moment. So interesting to see whether or not this becomes a two-horse race between Harrison and Kanchan. Harrison in the draft, he's going to pull out. Martin Turner pulls out on Stassi as well.
I have to say that would be the smart option there if you were Sonny Kanchan there. I say that as they're battling in there, Turner absolutely hung out to dry there. If he went any wider, he'd be well and truly off the circuit there. So he has given that to Lucas Stasi, but just as I was about to say that, you'd have to say there if you were Harrison or Kanchan, why don't you work together and pull away from Lucas Stasi so you're not under so much pressure from that rest of the field. But I think these two are just going to keep fighting as much as they can there. Great work there by Lucas Stasi, right in the mix there as well. Also there, great work by Damien Seeger that we don't see too much of near the podium, but he's always floating around in that top 10, so he'll be definitely good results as well.
Everyone from 28th place back has taken a visit to the pits to repair damage, and Mos Moros has just come into the pits again to sort out some more issues. So plenty of drivers having a substandard race here to start off the night at Road America. The lead's back on though. Kanchan having to go defensive versus Lee Harrison into Canada corner, and Martin Turner snatching third place back from Lucas Stasi. That was a great move.
Yeah, absolutely. There, almost too much of an inch away. You have to say there is being one of the quicker drivers that we've seen there. They're all pretty much the same there time-wise. Actually, Lucas Stasi was the fastest car on circuit last time around. See how he bridged that gap through. Going to be the case this time around there. He has lost a little bit of time there to these top three. You can actually see Marty Turner though right up on that rear bar there of Lee Harrison. Lee Harrison again going for that same turn one attack.
Yeah, well, this looks like it's going to be the case between our leaders, just swapping positions here at the front of this train. But Kanchan, he's not allowing Harrison to get away with this. Actually edging ahead in the braking zone for turn 3, but Harrison's still on the inside. And it's the same story as a couple of laps ago. Leaders side by side coming onto the back stretch. It's Kanchan with a slightly better run, and he's going to tow Turner with him. But Harrison is giving the draft to pretty much everyone else behind, up to Tane Venables and Nick Wood, who are bump drafting each other at the back of this pack. Down into turn 5 again. Well, looks like Kanchan might just win this battle out. But oh my goodness, Lee Harrison. He carried so much speed through turn 5 there. I was afraid there was going to be contact.
We'd actually have to say that these two battling up the front have actually put Tane Venables there and Ashley Norman on the back. So it has actually increased to a 10-car train here at the moment. You can actually see Nick Wood has slid down that order ever so slightly. We are actually, yeah, you can just see that orange and white MX-5 there. In the back there is Steve McMahon doing pretty well there, 11th place. So you can see the more and more they fight here at the front, the more and more these cars are going to latch on there. We do have Mark Foster is now the lead of the second pack there, so he's about 6 seconds adrift, so he's a little bit further down the road.
Oh, it's a good run from Lee Harrison. He actually gives Sonny Kanchan a tiny tap as they come through the kink. This lead battle is absolutely incredible. I love Road America, the kind of racing it puts on. And oh, Lucas Stasi with an incredible run. He's going to try and go for the lead here. 3 wide up the inside into Canada corner. Can he pull it off? Oh, only just. And Lee Harrison with the over-under on Sonny Canchin goes back into the lead.
Yeah, what a run there by Lucas Stasi. I almost thought they were going to be 3 wide as they come out of that, but he did not have that momentum coming out. We are going to cut to a VRS replay there, but did see a gap there all the way down the inside, so you can see cutting across there, running it so wide up on that circuit, so just almost catching Sonny Canchin by surprise, you can see.
Yeah, that was a very bold move by Lucas Stasi. He's not gained any positions out of it, but he'll try to here, as well as Sonny Canchin, who moves up the inside. Stasi again. You know, it's so tempting to try and go for the gap and brake later than anyone else, especially in these MX-5s. You know, the braking zones are so short in these cars, but you've got to be so careful with how narrow the racing surface is here. It's an old school circuit with grass and curbs on the outside, gravel traps as well. You can't afford to play with fire because you are going to get burnt.
You'd have to say there, Sonny Canchin might have known he was going to do it again there as well. So you can see Lucas Stasi right in the back there at Lee Harrison there. There's no gap through there. You have to say the Road America surface just is not wide enough. At the way that they were spaced out there, Sonny Canchin there going super wide there, but maintaining that momentum. He's going to try and hold that line around the outside again.
Oh no, oh no. Oh, the leaders make contact as Sonny Canchin. Well, he turned in, but Lee Harrison was still there on the inside. Slight quarter contact, and Canchin has fallen all the way to 7th.
Yeah, blink and you'd miss it. These guys are so close together. We are going to cut to this replay here as well. So just as they come over the top of the hill there, Canchin's so lucky there to hold it back together. So that's not him out at there at the moment. He is staying in this lead group, so he could potentially try and shuffle his way back to the front.
The running order is Harrison, Stasi and Turner, your top 3. That's the onboard from Sonny Canchin. I think from his perspective, he would have thought that Lee Harrison would yield there. Canchin had the racing line, and he was ahead coming into the corner. But, hey, that's the incident. And as we go back to the lead pack, Lucas Stasi going for the lead again here versus Lee Harrison. But has he gone too deep again into Canada corner? Maybe just holding on to it this time.
Yeah, it takes a almost Valentino Rossi shallow line as it comes through Canada corner. Doesn't really apex it, he just blocks all that inside off it. It has worked there. See how he's going to fight Harrison and Turner as they come over the straight. So such a big draft track as these little MX-5s just try and push up that hill. As they cross over top of the hill is when the draft really takes an effect, as we can see so much with Lee Harrison there on the back of Canchin. So you'd say that Stasi would have caught onto what's going on. He's going to try and hold it a little bit close to the middle of the circuit there. Actually did not get drafted there, so Stasi is going to have that upper hand through the first couple of corners.
That's interesting to see. Canchin making his way back up to 4th, meanwhile, in the midst of all of this. He's wasted no time getting back onto this pack as the 747 of Damien Seeger fights with Ashley Norman and Tane Van Abels. But in terms of that lead fight, as we see in the pits, that's Aaron Oliver going for a stop. For the lead, Lee Harrison actually backing off into the braking zones. He's not going for it in passing Lucas Stasi, and I think that is a very wise move, because at a track like Road America, you try and draft someone, they'll just get you on the next straight.
Yeah, absolutely. He knows how aggressive Stasi's overtakes us, and maybe a bit of I was going to say self-deprecation, bit of self-protection there. Talk about self-protection there. We see the crossover there. Tane Venables there. Great move there on Damien Seeger. So see the MX-5s really kind of lend themselves to those surprise attacks there. Nick Wood almost pushing himself off the circuit there. He held that inside line and almost ran himself off to the inside there. Aaron Oliver there Vantage Yard as well. Aaron Oliver, you have to say, very unlucky there. Starting all the way from the back, working his way up to around that 22nd position. So done a super job there, gaining, I think was our #1 gainer up until taking that pit stop there. I think that is Smith and Canto. Yeah, Simon Joel Smith there and Dylan Canto. So those
Brenton
two,
Ball.
yeah, these two having an absolute crack of a race there. A little bit of a battle with each other.
Yeah, both of those guys have already gone into the pits for their mandatory stop. And Patterson and Wood still fighting here at the back end of the top 10. There's Wood getting by Patterson into the final corner. He's going to have the draft from Venables up ahead, but there goes Mr. Patterson into the pits, and very difficult pit entry here at Road America. You actually can't see the entry cones until you're right on them, so you have to practice your pit entry here, and you have to be very careful on your way into the lane. Let's see what Patterson can potentially gain from pitting when he does. And in terms of those pit stops, well, we've only got a few laps to go. This means that all of these drivers are likely going to have to come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of them will have to really try and go for that last-minute pit stop, but you wouldn't want too many cars in front of you, just catching, I think that was Sonny Hensham there with a bit of contact there from Ashton. But yeah, you're exactly right there. On that pit entry, quite a high speed into a really short braking zone, you wouldn't want to accidentally run up the rear end of the MX-5 in front.
Look at Damien Seeger. Where has he come from? He's had an absolutely fantastic run here these last few corners. He's gotten up into third.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's made quite light work there as well. You see actually Norman also shuffling his way up towards his teammate there. Jimmy, teammate, running through as well. So those two might be a bit of a force to be reckoned with as well. Nick Wood shuffling his way up as well. So see with these bits as they come through, but you'd have to say they've all got their eye on the clock there at the moment. Would definitely taking pit stop sooner than later.
Look at this fighting down into turn 5. It's a three-way fight into the braking zone as Andrew Hobby wins out that battle. Wayne Losh goes super wide, and Caleb Patterson, who has just come into the pits on his outlap at the moment, having to really sort himself out versus these guys. And there's no tyre warmers on the MX-5, and they also use pretty much a almost road spec tyre, treaded rubber here on the MX-5. So takes a little bit to get up to temperature and set your fastest times. Oh.
Yes, Seeger up into P2 there, and you can actually just see how dark it is on this, through the forest on this part of the circuit. So definitely trying conditions in the track, especially when it comes to tyres, are absolutely right there. And for some of those cars that have pitted a little bit earlier on, such as Caleb Patterson, you really don't want to be fighting with some of those back markers. You really want to be chipping away those fast laps to win. Some of the other leaders are pitting, but it is a tale of eight still at the moment. All the way from Lucas Stasi there to Todd George.
Oh, side by side for the lead. There goes Seeger up the inside of Lucas Stasi, but Stasi didn't let him through. Squeezed him to the inside and forced Seeger to back out of it. Great fighting for the lead still, as for fourth on back. It's a very intense battle. Marty Turner currently in fourth place. He passed Sonny Kanchan back, who's still trying to work his way back up here after his earlier incident with Lee Harrison. It looks like Ashley Norman might be looking to nab our pole sitter here.
Yeah, absolutely. You can actually see them run up just in the foreground there with a bit of lap traffic potentially there. Damien Seeger all the way up there on Lucas Stasi, so he's going to take that position away there. Oh, there's one of the chicken up cars running crazy wide there. I think that was Ashley Norman. We are seeing one of the other Sharp Racing teams. I think that is Adam Sharp there, so getting his pit in and back out there as well. Lee Harrison there was as much as almost 7/10 back from these front two there, but he's closed that gap back in there at the moment, so he's feeling like he's got a bit of pace there, trying to get around Lucas Stasi.
Stasi ran wide in the left-hander just then, so Lee Harrison probably looking for a way past sooner rather than later. You see the gap that Damien Seeger has already managed to get thanks to that battling behind him. And that might be crucial for the battle for the win here. We're going to be coming up on white flag pretty soon. So these drivers are going to have to sort themselves out sooner rather than later. Up to Canada corner once again. Damien Seeger, it looks like he's in control at the moment, but he's going to have to nail his exit out of the final corner. Remember, pit stops may still be a factor for these guys coming up to the finish. Will they all decide to jump in at the same time? I would guess they will.
I have to say that left in there. Seeing who's showing a nose there for the pits, but all 8 cars choosing to stay out.
All right.
So we are in for, you'd have to say, a bit of mayhem there when that white flag comes out.
Oh boy, here we go. Number 34, Lucas Stasi, Lee Harrison up the inside, then he outbrakes him into the first corner, gets it done beautifully. But the question is, this being the final lap, does Damien Seeger have enough of a gap to be able to hold on to the win? I think he just might.
Yeah, he's definitely put that pressure on where it counts there. He does have about a second lead there at the moment to Lee Harrison and Lucas Stasi. So those two will be trying to battle each other up there. You have to say Lee Harrison, a second is really in that draft, but he's just a little bit too far back as well. Not to forget the 2 chicken up cars there of Marty Turner and Ashley Norman there. Those two almost come together. It's always such crazy watching these cars from braking. You see Lee Harrison trying to get around.
Riding on board behind the number 26 of Lee Harrison is Lucas Stasi, and not quite maximising his line out of the right-hander there. Won't have an opportunity through the hurry downs, but we'll see what happens at the end of the lap here. Coming through the kink, down to Canada corner. Who is it going to be? Damien Seeger, well, he's decided that this is how he's going to go. 1.5 seconds is the gap for the lead, and I think that's basically game over for everyone behind.
Yeah, you'd have to say there for Damien Seeger as well, that last lap, putting in that 2 minutes 31.6 there compared to Lee Harrison, almost 2 seconds.
Oh, it's going to go off. Oh, whoa, take it easy, boys. Chicken up either side of the track. Look at that.
Yeah, these two commanding the circuit there as well. So that is Ashley Norman there around Marty Turner. So coming all the way, I think, from about, I think, at 12th place there. So definitely.
Stasi, is he out of fuel? He is. Oh, that's heartbreak there for Lucas Stasi. He's not going to finish on the podium here, but guess who will?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is going to be quite a run there by Damien Seeger. Lee Harrison as well there.
Oh, he's out of fuel right at the line. Oh, does he have it? Oh, only just going to get it there. Goodness me. What happened to Lee Harrison? He ran out of fuel as well. He ends up crossing the line in 6th.
Oh, that has actually pushed Ashley Norman there into 2nd place, I believe. So yeah. There you go. The gas prices in the US, not only affecting cars in the real world, but as well as everyone. Seeing quite a lot of Jamie Willits as well. We're seeing a lot of these MX-5 stop there. So potentially with the time it might have gone. I know it was 11 laps there, so yeah, they can't really use that as an excuse. But I think many of our drivers just been a bit too aggressive when it comes to that fuel strategy.
Yes,
might
indeed.
Also explain why we had so many cars take the lane as well. We had cars all the way to Caleb Patterson there in 12th place taking pit stops.
Whoa, a little bit of lawn mowing there off the final corner for Darren Sharp. He's going to come through behind Richie Domingo there for the last few positions in the top 30. Still out on track is Jamie Willits there. You see him just creeping up over the hill. He might just make it to the line, maybe. I don't know. He's losing too much speed. That's a shame for Jamie Willits. So, yeah, evidently fuel, a big issue for drivers here at Road America.
Not only fuel, but gravity is not on Jamie Willett's side, so potentially, thankfully he's on the brakes, he might end up rolling backwards away from the line, but what a race there from our Roadster Rumble race 1 there. Damien Seeger just taking it ahead of Ashley Norman. Todd George as well, Nick Wood there, Marty Turner, Lee Harrison there was in all the way up in first place there, unfortunately losing out second place to the 6 with that fuel issue there. Steve McMahon as well, didn't see too much of Steve McMahon, kind of actually slid in there through the shadows and taking a great top 10 position there. Sonny Canshin, Tane Venables there, and great work there by Greg Holmes. I think that might be his first top 10 of the season.
From 23rd place, no less. Great drive from Greg Holmes and from Matt Van Egmond as well, who started ahead of him but finishes 11th. Wayne Losh made up positions to finish 12th. Caleb Patterson, meanwhile, making it home. They were the first of our cars to make a pit stop here. Neil McKenzie was able to just make it to the line on no stops. Then we got Mark Foster, Brody Cook, Lucas McCaleb, Jesse Carrick, Ben Ferguson and Aaron Oliver rounding out the top 20.
Yeah, great work there by Neil McKenzie being our leader AM car. So Ivan Vantagiato there, Dylan Canto. We did have some incidents there. I was going to say pretty much, I think from car 15 back there, all having incidents. Richie Domingo there, Darren Sharp, Carl Gogigo, Darren Linus, Graham Ellis, Bard Rodkin, Dave Gogol there, and Adam Sharp in 30th.
31st place was Wade McCulloch, and then we got Tony Vaselis and Shane Seddon behind him, Philip Paradiso and Anthony Connors, 34th and 35th. Glenn Wood, he started in 11th place, but unfortunately those opening lap shenanigans means he's going to have to settle for 36th. And our last finisher on the lead lap was Terry Knowles. He was the car up ahead of our lead pack for the majority of the race. And then, oh my goodness, this is going to be heartbreaking. Lucas Stassi, Andrew Hobby, and Jamie Willits all running out of fuel there on the final lap. Raymundo coming home a lap down. Simon Smith, Brenton Bull and Luke Claver 2 and 3 laps down respectively. Moz Moros had to take a couple of trips into the pit lane. Joe Proctor, unfortunately not making it to the finish. And Adam Marinovich, well, he didn't even make it past the first lap. Very unfortunate for him. But we do have another race coming up soon very quickly, Nick.
We are going to run to a quick break there, Grace. I actually missed the question that you asked me, but we are going to take 5 minutes away and kind of catch our breath and our thoughts.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's got everything outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
Second very close. These guys I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
We are back here at Road America. So, what an exciting race we saw there in Heat 1. We are going to have, if you enjoyed that, we've got more of the own. So, more of where that's come from there with another 11 laps. Same format again of a sprint race. So, it is going to be our progressive grid from the last results there. So, we're going to cut to that rock now. And yeah, we do know that it is going to be Damien Seeger, Ashley Norman, Todd George, Nick Wood, Marty Turner, Lee Harrison there, Steve McMahon, Sonny Canchin, Tane Venables, Greg Holmes in our top 10.
Going to be an interesting one here. Saw quite a few drivers taking to the pit lane in race 1 for fuel, and we saw a couple of drivers fall victim to an empty fuel tank on the final lap. So this is going to be an interesting one here for the drivers. Who's going to be able to make it to the end without a stop?
Yeah, I'd have to say there as well, I incorrectly congratulated Neil McKenzie being our lead AM car. So it was actually Greg Holmes being our AM class winner, but we are going to go green.
All jump start further back in the field.
Massively jump start there. Yeah, that was Caleb Patterson almost jumping by about 2 seconds. So they're going to definitely have to serve a penalty. They're not actually definitely not going to slam up there, keeping the boot in there. But we are going to see, I think that is Damien Seeger. He's going to have a nose there at the moment. We did see Todd George there sliding behind Ashley Norman. Nick Wood up in the 4th place as well.
Good stuff there, and Marty Turner, he's going to try and force the issue up the inside of turn 3 on Todd George as well, as the field comes streaming through the opening turns here. Too wide pretty much everywhere you look, and oh dear, that's a big problem for a couple of our drivers at turn 3. Oh, seeing a 3rd car off as well. Jesse Carrig off, Shane Seddon as well, and Lucas McAuliffe all going for a bit of a tumble there on the first lap.
Yeah, very unfortunately. I think that might have been 2 races in a row there for a couple of them. So having a few issues so early on there, but we are going to stick with our lead pack there at the moment. It's about 11, 12 cars there. So we're going to see probably for the first at least couple of laps, everyone jostling for position, trying to get a bit of space with each other, a bit of on-sharp action there. Darren Sharp there taking on Adam Sharp. Those two always battling it out there. Bard Robkins sliding down the order. Did start in 28th position there, but unfortunately a bit of that half slide on those cold tyres there, Reece.
Yes, as the racing continues into the carousel, Ashley Norman actually suffered a bit of oversteer on the corner before this one. He's fallen back to 5th now, just ahead of Sonny Canchin. He's got Marty Turner and Todd George up ahead of them as they make their way into the kink. It is still Damien Seeger who leads the way from Nick Wood and Martin Turner up in P3. But Sonny Canchin, you can see him moving around. He wants to try and regain positions here. Remember, he started on pole for race 1, and he should have won it if things had gone his way. But oh my goodness, so late on the brakes there for Tane Venables. And Canchin getting up the inside of Ashley Norman here. And he will try his best to move up into P4. Goes off the circuit though. Canchin, always a hard driver, always going at 110%, but a little bit of rear end contact there from Ashley Norman as he bangs wheels with Tane Venables. And look at the weaving. Venables already going into the pits here, and Lee Harrison and Caleb Patterson are going to follow him. We know why Patterson is going into the pits. He's going to serve a penalty for that jump start.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can see that the strategy is definitely going to play out different here, but
Nick Wood.
Yeah, strategy out the window there. Nick Wood there up the inside there of Marty Turner. So he's now going to take the lead. For the moment, you can imagine just how much they're fighting. Might only hold it for a very short moment there as well. You can see I think that is Marty Turner there trying to respond, showing a bit of a nose. We are having a look a little bit further back there. Big sea of MX-5s there. That is Adam Sharp there as well. Being hung on the outside there. Did have a car there. I think that was Richie Domingo potentially.
And he's battling with Mark Foster and Neil McKenzie at the moment here as they come down to turn 5. McKenzie in the number 5. As there we go, Marty Turner to the lead, and Sonny Canchin following him through. That's a big change there up at the top of the field. Pretty fantastic racing that we're seeing so far here. Up at the front is Ashley Norman. He has to settle for that behind Todd George, but can he make the move up the inside again? Oh, a little bit of a bump to the rear on the way into the braking zone, but they managed to keep it clean. Big oversteer moment from Nick Wood, and Sonny Canchin going off the circuit as well. You see him up ahead there going for the lead versus Martin Turner.
Yeah, Sonny Canchin, they're not sitting around there at all, so he's actually going to be taking that provisional lead there. Marty Turner, though, I have to say, definitely such a strong fighter when it comes to racecraft. You can see through the kink there, all running pretty smoothly. You can actually see as well there a little bit of a gap opening up. I think we've only got about 8 cars in this lead group there at the moment. Could be a potential shake-up of the strategy, as you'd have to say there, if they're all sitting with each other, but obviously they're all going to be battling as hard as they can just on board.
Well, it's getting feisty back in the pack, though, a bit further back at Canada Corner. Ben Ferguson is in P15 and up at the head of this train here with looking at Domingo and Sharp. Side by side just behind them, Carl Goodger trying to go up the inside of Lucas Stasi, but he's not going to get it done that time. Stasi does go off the circuit, just up ahead of him as well. Darren Sharp went for a little bit of an adventure too.
Yeah, you'd have to say there, Lucas Stasi definitely having such an unlucky night.
Oh, the chicken up drivers are pitted, sorry.
Yeah, so Ashley Norman there and Marty Turner, both of them will definitely be in each other's ear, just maintaining that strategy together. So those two definitely going to be one to watch. I think what they'll be able to do is work together there on some clear air. So they might actually be able to make quite a lot of ground up on some of the lead cars as they battle for that position. So we'll just have a look here. That is Wood and Ben Ferguson there at the moment. Glenwood having an absolute shocker first race there with a couple of pretty heavy accidents. Not too bad there at the moment in 13th place. Actually, sorry, in 10th place there, up 26 positions from where he started, but that doesn't take into account.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that was a big incident there. Adam Sharp. Oh my goodness, and he's taken Carl Goodger with him there on the re-entry.
Yeah, we'll have to cut to a VRS replay. Just take a bit of a look at what's happened there.
There we go. All right, so down into the corner there. Oh my goodness, got absolutely cleaned up in the braking zone.
Yeah, I did think that might have been potentially the Ben Ferguson. Oh, we actually did see Richie Domingo there. I think Lucas Stasi off the track as well. So quite a few casualties in. We're only on to lap 3, but we've actually seen quite a few cars off the circuit there at the moment. At car 59.
Sonny Canchin. Very good stuff from him to drive his way to the front here in the opening laps. So that's the way the top 3's looking at the moment. Now, will they elect to go into the pits on this lap is the question on my mind. Looks like the majority of them are looking to stay out, but of the drivers that have pitted, Martin Turner, who's now back in P28, he is battling hard with Lee Harrison and Damien Seeger. He's managed to get ahead of both of them, but Harrison getting up the inside now of Turner at Canada Corner, and that's going to be that. I'm seeing just up ahead of them as well, Lucas Stasi carrying heavy damage, and of course he was one of the cars that went off a little earlier, and that front bumper is looking pretty substandard. No surprise that he's peeling into the pits again.
Yeah, you can see him having quite a struggle trying to keep that car straight there at the moment, so hopefully he'll be able to get those repairs done. Back through the front of the field here at the moment though. Sonny Canchin to Nick Wood to Todd George. These three only separated by about 4 tenths here at the moment, so can be anyone's game here at the moment. George
Oh,
trying to maintain that gap there. You can see just how hard they run it through there on that curbing.
yeah, and Kanchan actually got into the gravel a little bit on the entry to the braking zone as well. You can tell how hard he's driving. But this top 6 now are all together. It's Kanchan, Wood, George, Wayne Losh, Matt Van Egmond, and Brodie Cook all in this fight at the moment. And Matt Van Egmond, currently the leading AM car. For P2 in AM, he's not under much pressure. Dylan Canto is another 5 seconds back or so, battling with Ivan Vantaggiato.
Yeah, great work there by Matt Van Egmond there. So up 6 positions, he was just outside that top 10. Qualified, well, provisionally behind. I just forgot now. I was looking at his name just before, but currently second in the AM class here. Hopefully some really great championship points as well. You have to say that.
Yeah, and championship points is what you need, especially late in the season like this. So they'll certainly take whatever they can get. Sonny Kanchan, he's not able to get anything in the way of draft at the moment. Is a little bit feisty here between Vantaggiato and Canto. Actually, Cook and Vantaggiato. No, it is Canto and Vantaggiato we're looking at. Cook's up ahead in the battle for 6th place. These guys have not been able to leave each other alone on this lap, and that's giving a good advantage here to Matt Van Egmond as, oh my goodness, Canto. He tried to hold it round the outside of Vantaggiato, but just couldn't do it.
Get that run in from behind, a little bit too far back. You could actually say that hurt his momentum. Dropping that wheel off into the dirt there at the moment. So you can actually see Aaron Oliver there. Also another big quad achiever there. Unfortunately qualifying so far back. You'd have to say in these MX5 races, if you're at the back, there's just so much carnage going everywhere. And it is great to see Aaron Oliver just cutting his way through the field here at the moment. We are having a look a little bit further forward. Another AM class, or a couple of AM class cars there. I think that is Brenton Bull. Currently in 16th place. And Simon Joel Smith, Jamie Willett. So all these, 3 of these cars are almost starting from almost dead last. So these 3 are doing quite well to be where they are.
That they are. Tony Vasilis at the front of that particular pack as we flick back to the lead. Had a couple more drivers come into the pits. Adam Sharp is currently in his box right now, but this is looking very close here between Cook, Egmond, and Wayne Losh as well. That's Wayne Losh up ahead in the number 68 as we ride on board with Brodie Cook. And they're starting to lose a bit of ground there to the top 3. Something's happened in the preceding corners that has created that gap.
Yeah, you'd have to say that these, even if nothing specific has happened, that these top 3 just really just haven't pace at the moment. All around lap-wise, though, that they're all pretty similar, all around that 231.8. So we'll have to see as they come across the line why they've been stretched out so much there as well. Sonny Kanchan, though, half a second there up on Glenwood at the, Nick Wood there at the moment. So close enough to him. Actually see these 3 cars are Losh, Brodie Cook there and Egmond. All those 3 are in super tight. So those 3 will be trying to work out what would be a good time to take that pit stop. Jesse White Carrick there, and that is Simon Joel Smith. So a few of these cars there.
Oh, Smith versus Vasilis there, and it's on for P2 as well. Nick Wood and no, sorry, looking at the wrong battle there. My apologies, Fonty. I caused you to flick away from that battle. It was a bit further back, but this looks like a good one here. The battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. I mean, Wayne Losh, he's done really well to hold off the advances of Brodie Cook and Matt Van Egmond here, but seems to me it's only a matter of time here before Cook decides to pull the move on Losh. There's no help from the drafting up ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to say that for Wayne Losh. Pushing that big wall of air in front of everyone. Or just seeing a few A few of the minor positions there. Tony Vesselis going super deep into turn 1 there, defending absolutely great there against, I think that is Simon Joel Smith. A few of the other cars as well, so great to see so much action throughout the field, really ending the season here for the Roadster Rumble there on such a high.
Yeah, it's such an exciting event it has been. We've had trouble knowing exactly where to look. There's always something going on out on track. Vesselis, he's done very well to hold off the advances of Simon Smith. But again, with 6 laps to go, there's still plenty of time for that position to be changed. Wayne Losh still not facing much of an attack from Brodie Cook right now. It's all about lining up the move. Coming out of, these are the cars that are pitted actually. Those are the chicken up teammates of Turner and Norman. Right in the mix of this with Mr. Linus, who's missing his right wing mirror there, looking a bit substandard, and the chicken up driver struggling a little bit here. They've also got Seeger in there with them as well in the 747. This is difficult here for the drivers that have already come through the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. So you'd have to say for both Marty Turner and Ashley Millman there, not what they wanted. Definitely wanted to try and work together and almost time trial together to try and make up some gap there on their elite cars there, but hasn't turned out to be the case there. As of, yeah, definitely got another driver supply there. That was just Glenn Wood there, out on his lonesome there at the moment. Just
Simon Smith.
Great little pass there by Simon Smith.
Yeah, so he's finally ahead of Tony Vesselis and up into P13. But again, there's no help from Slipstream up ahead, so he's probably going to be stuck with these guys for some time to come. Meanwhile, up the into 4th and 5th, Wayne Losh actually getting past there just about.
Yeah, almost
by Todd George.
Yeah, almost.
Or Matt Van Egmond, sorry.
Yeah, I almost thought that was going to be Brodie Cook there, making it 3 wide, but these 3 trying to work together a little bit. You can see the cars in behind, a bit more spread out. There we go, one of the Sharp Racing cars. I think that is Darren Sharp there. So Darren Sharp having a really good run there, getting one up on his brother here so far.
How is this battle between Smith, Vesselis and Carrick? They've not been able to leave each other alone at all. We flick through to the onboard here from Jesse Carrick. We'll see if there's a move here for Tony Vesselis. He got a great draft on Simon Joel Smith, and he's ahead coming into the braking zone, but how late will Simon push it? They're going to leave each other a good amount of room, which is really good to see, but it seems that Tony Vesselis getting the better run round the outside, back up into P13 now. Unfortunately, we've lost Moz Moros. He's had an internet issue, I believe, and has been forced to retire.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a bit of a shame there for Moz Moros. Was sitting all the way somewhere around that 15th place there. So.
Vesselis off. Oh dear. Oh. Had to back out of it, check up, get on the brakes, did Jesse Carrick. That's given a big advantage to Simon Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you'd have to say these...
Smith's gone off the track now again at the carousel. Just managing to hold on to it as they come into the kink side by side. Oh dear. Careful, Simon, careful. Just keeps it out of the wall.
Definitely never lift, so I think he kept it pinned the whole way through there. Potentially might even be lining up an attack there at the moment. He has just slotted in behind. What a wild ride. Across the grass, across 2 different corners.
I'm getting palpitations from this. This is no good for stress levels watching MX-5 racing as Smith goes off the track again. Goodness me. He's probably carrying an awful lot of detritus from off the racing surface on those tyres, as Kanchan, it seems, has gotten a bit of a gap here over Todd George and Nick Wood.
Yeah, you'd have to say they're potentially putting out his own line around the entire circuit. But These three still choosing, still have chose to stay out here at the moment, so we do have only 4 laps to go. Sonny Kenshin there, about 7/10 there, so just outside the grips there of Todd George. Todd George having to drive very defensively at the moment. Just having a look. Oh, I think that might have been Darren Sharp there, rear of that MX-5, getting away from him a little bit, so it's actually going to... that's actually Mark Foster there, I believe. So Mark Foster there picking up another car there, so up 4 positions where he's starting.
And he's cleared Darren Sharp well into the braking zone, so it's a nice easy move there for Mark Foster, at least at that corner. The battle of the cars that have pitted, meanwhile, Marty Turner, Lee Harrison, Ashley Norman and Damien Seeger. Look at these guys coming into turn 5. Seeger, remember, he came through for the win in race 1. It was an excellent run from him, though he tried to at least before he ran out of fuel. I just remembered. But now at the back of this train, and as the laps keep ticking away, the drivers who have managed to stay in packs up at the front have probably been able to save a bit of fuel and might just be able to get away with it without a pit stop. That's the thing that these drivers have taken a chance on, as there's a car off in front of them. That's Raimundo, who's managed to go for a little bit of a lawn mowing trip. He re-enters the circuit safely, or at least tried to before he hit the tyre wall. But these 4 drivers, they're fighting for positions they don't know whether or not they'll gain.
Yeah, absolutely. You're only just going to cast your eyes down the lap board and see where they are at the moment. So actually haven't got too much data there, because I think so many of these cars do get these slight technical off tracks there. It actually hasn't registered their laps too much there. I think we are seeing our leaders there as well.
Yes.
Yeah, just off in that background.
Well, they're in the pits.
Yeah, they are in the pits there, so that he's going to leave Brody Cook potentially as our effective leader.
Right then. And of course, tyres take some time to change here in the MX-5s. Drivers will be in there for at least 10 seconds. It looks like Kanchan only taking left side tyres and falling behind the likes of Darren Sharp and Mark Foster, but he manages to stay well ahead of that fighting pack of Harrison, Turner, Norman and Seeger.
Yeah, you can actually see that speed difference there as well as they come back in, some of those following cars. It's actually going to be a little bit tricky as well for Kanchan Wood and Todd George as well, so they are going to have cold tyres well. Some of those other cars around them have warmer tyres, but look at more worn as well, so it'll be a little bit of a mix there with the tyres, especially with how hard some of these cars have been pushing.
So in terms of points in the pro class, I would presume that Sonny Kanchan still has enough here to hold on versus Todd George. But with George now in P11 and having already taken his pit stop, yeah, he's still going to finish behind Kanchan as well. Harrison, he spins around and collects Marty Turner in the left-hand side. Lee Harrison, he ran out of fuel in race 1, and now a mistake of his own doing in turn 5.
Yeah, Lee Harrison just not getting a break. There's definitely going to be a season to forget. Both here in the Roadster Rumble as well as the GT4 cars. You can see that damage there on that MX-5. We are going to cut to a VRS replay. See exactly what had happened there. You can see those 2 chicken up cars there tucked in behind, coming across.
Just too much curb, eh?
Yeah, all on his own there. Very, very lucky there for that car to both of those cars there as he pinball bounced between the walls there. Hopefully not too much damage. He might be able to rejoin there without actually having to take another pit stop.
We shall see. Of course, front end damage, not the best for the MX-5, especially at a track like Road America, where your straight line speed is paramount. Of course, these cars aren't as quick in a straight line as many other cars on the iRacing service, but you still want to keep it as clean as possible. And just coming out of the pits was Raimundo. He had to take a tow after getting into the tyre wall front of the carousel. He's managed to get that done, but into the pits is going to go Darren Sharp. Not too sure if he's come into the pits yet, but have a look at this pack of cars that's racing down the front stretch here. Jesse Carrick now at the front of this pack. He's got a bit of damage. The number 3 of Ashley Norman's going to move ahead of him, and getting bump drafted by Damien Seeger was Marty Turner. He just moves ahead of the 777 of Jesse Carrick coming into turn 1. This is a very tight battle.
Yeah, great work there by Jesse Carrick, showing a bit of a nose. Did not get the chance to see him too much there in race 1. It's actually going to allow a few of these other cars onto the back there at the moment, so they are around 5 seconds adrift there of Sonny Canchin and the like, and Nick Wood. So unfortunately their strategy in that early pit has not played out there. 5 seconds would be quite a lot to pick up there over dying laps here. We're only going to have about 2 to go left.
That we do, and I think plenty of drivers will be wondering what might have been here as Lee Harrison, well, he's stayed out, but you can see the lack of pace in that car now. He might have to come back into the pits, but certainly he's still in the top half of the field or thereabouts. Every chance that he'll be able to make it to the finish, only with 2 laps to go. Canto now battling with Mr. Oliver, Aaron Oliver to be exact. Vantagiato has left these guys behind, and looking to try and actually, it looks like Vantagiato has fallen back behind these two. I ended up missing that. He was scored ahead last time they were at the line as Canto tries his best to get the move done on Aaron Oliver, but they're going to run side by side still. Seems that no matter what line you put this MX-5 on, it can make it out of the corner competitively.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, a bit of a slide there by Canto. These two, even though they're battling, they will have to pull it into the pits this lap here, so they will see who's going to be...
Oh no, they're taking the chance. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Vantagiato getting into the rear of Aaron Oliver slightly. It is the final lap. Matt Van Egmond has pulled it into the pits from 3rd overall. Oliver's going to move ahead of Canto here, but side-by-side contact down the straight. Will Vantagiato be brave and make it 3 wide into turn 1? Yes, he will, but Aaron Oliver, latest on the brakes, he's going to maintain that position, and Canto now right back with Vantagiato once again.
Very lucky there not to push into the nose of Vantagiato there. We're all trying to get that track position as well. All bunched in there pretty tight there. You can see Aaron Oliver is going to be leading this train down the hill there as well. You can actually see that gap there between the two of them decrease there as Canto and Vantagiato there pull that draft as they come along. Quite lucky there. You can actually see, I think that is Sonny Canchin there in that 4th place, just a little bit too far back.
Yeah, just a little bit. But Canchin currently in 60th. He's going to try and round these guys up before the end, trying to snatch away as many points as he can. The top 5 up ahead of these guys, starting of course with Vantagiato. They have not pitted, and it looks to me like Brody Cook is doing just enough here to come away with victory, but up the inside goes Vantagiato on Canto, and Canchin ends up following him through. So Sonny Canchin, he's managed to put himself in a great position here towards the finish. He might not be able to get Aaron Oliver. You see how far ahead he is there, but he'll certainly have a red-hot go at taking this position from Vantagiato. But looks to me like Brody Cook at Canada Corner and in the lead by 2 seconds. He is on his... Oh, no, he's not on his way to taking victory. He's run out of fuel, leader out of fuel, and oh my goodness, that's a huge smash there. Nick Wood involved, Dylan Canto involved.
Yeah, we did see Nick Wood. He was right up that order, up the championship order there as well. So those two having a really unfortunate coming together there. I think Dylan Canto is trying to get that car.
Wayne Losh is going to win this, guys. Wayne Losh, he's just running out of fuel up the hill here. He's just managed to make it.
What a win there by Wayne Losh.
Brilliant stuff. Brody Cook, well, he's crawling up the hill. He's going to lose all of those positions. Aaron Oliver is going to come through to finish second, and Sonny Canchin up to P3. Fantastic recovery there.
Yeah, seeing, yeah, these three almost a tire bollard of MX5 shape there. A few stuck cars there on the circuit with no fuel there, but that is our leaders through. So we are going to cut to our provisional standings.
Tell you what, that finish was super close between Turner, Seeger and McMahon. They were covered by 1.5 tenths. What an incredible finish that was between those guys in the latter half of the top 10. But hey, Wayne Losh just managed to hold on here for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to run through our order there. Wayne Losh to Aaron Oliver there. Sonny Canchin, definitely making that pit stop work there as well. Mark Foster, Todd George, Ivan Van Tigiato there, Ashley Norman and Marty Turner, the two chicken up cars there. Damien Seeger and Steve McMahon rounding out our top 10.
And I think it's confirmed that Sonny Canchin is the pro champion. And Anthony Connors is there doing some donuts in the runoff area with him. Nick Wood, well, he was right up there in that battle, wasn't he? But with that incident on the back stretch, has to settle for 11th. Glenn Wood comes in just behind him. Matt Van Egmond, he had to take a very late pit stop, has to settle for 13th. Veselis manages to beat Jesse White-Carrick and Neil McKenzie, with Anthony Connors coming up behind them. Then it's Holmes, Patterson and Willits rounding out the top 20. Of course, Patterson, not only did he have a crash or two along the way, but he also had that jump start penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. So seeing Brenton Bull, unfortunately, just making it outside that top 20 position there. Darren Sharp, we did see plenty of action around him. Dave Gogol, Bud Rodkin there, Luke Claver, Lucas Stasi there having another unfortunate race. Darren Linus, Wade McCulloch, Philip Paradiso and Graham Ellis rounding out our top 30 positions.
31st was Carl Goodger, and the last two cars to finish on the lead lap, Ben Ferguson and Richie Domingo, 2 minutes and 20 seconds behind. Brody Cook, well, he was leading on the final lap, but ran out of fuel on the way into Canada Corner. Ultimately has to settle for 34th, classified a lap down. What a heartbreaking finish for the number 69. Same for Dylan Canto, Lee Harrison, Simon Smith, Adam Sharp, Shane Seddon and Terry Knowles, all classified one lap down. And Raimundo, unfortunately, had a couple of run-ins and is classified 2 laps down. Mos Moros suffering technical issues, and Lucas McAuliffe, Andrew Hobby, Tane Venables and Joel Proctor all retiring from this event. Adam Marinovich did not take the start.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely going out with a bang. You could say a crash and a bang for our last round there of our Roadster Rumble. There was definitely a lot of Roadsters, definitely a lot of Rumbles as they flew around here at Road America. So great way to round out the season there with those 2 sprint races. I will ask Reese if we're going to take a few interviews there. I think Wayne Losh would be pretty keen to say quick g'day.
I think he would, and we say g'day to him. Wayne Losh, sensational win in race 2. Looks like fuel was a big issue here at Road America.
Oh, it certainly was, guys, and it's taken me 2 rounds and the last round of the second season to get up here and get a win, so I'm pretty excited. But yeah, 2 minute 40 on that last lap, and I was running out of fuel up the hill, so I wasn't sure I was going to get there till I got to the line.
It was very fortunate, though, you know, being able to work with drivers in the draft obviously contributed to fuel saving.
Oh, I definitely did, and even in that first race, I was sitting 12th with about 5 or 6 laps to go, and I thought, no way, knowing the class of the guys in front of me, I'm going to do much better. So I decided to do my stop in the first race, hoping that this would be the outcome of the second. And I feel a bit sorry for Brody because him and I were sort of working together, and he started to pull a bit of a gap with the last lap or two, and I'm thinking, oh, I can't catch 2 or 3 seconds when I got no fuel, but he ran out about 3 corners before me, so his misfortune was my good fortune.
As it seemed. Well, I guess looking forward to next season, you've tasted Victory Lane, and do you think that you'll be visiting it more in the future?
I hope so, guys. I've had a bit of bad luck a few times, but a lot of it have been silly things that I've done. I've nearly got the pace of the quick guys, so I'm there or thereabouts. So, you know, a bit more work, bit more practice. Hopefully I can come and have a chat with you guys again.
Well, we certainly hope so too. Wayne Losh, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank? Any shout outs or sponsors?
Oh, mate, Extreme Air Conditioning and Greg puts in heaps of work to this. Obviously, the Simworx guys, Duo Trading, Palmer's, so on and so forth. Me personally, my boss, he helps me out a bit, so that's WBT. He does a bit of real world racing. I can only do sim racing, and I love it. So that's about it. And to you guys, you put on a really good show, and I appreciate what you guys do as well.
Thank you very much, Wayne, and thank you for joining us. That was the winner of Race 2 there, Wayne Losh, and second in Race 2, Aaron Oliver. Quite an eventful night for you, Aaron, starting pretty much dead last in Race 1, worked your way up to 20th and ending up working your way up to a podium at the end of the night. A lot of work to be done.
Yeah, that's right, boys. It's a bit of a funny story, actually, how I started last. I was actually jumping back in my sim after going to have a bit of a break before qualifying, and yeah, my seat fell out. So, yeah, I spent most of the qualifying session trying to get my seat back back in and that, and then, yeah, got out there, did an out lap, and then realised, oh yeah, got no time to do a qualifying lap. So, yeah, it really made for an eventful night, that's for sure, starting off the back row. But yeah, we're really happy to drive through to 20th. And then in that second race, we'd already got our pit stop out of the way, and it was just a matter of fuel saving. And yeah, pretty happy with second place in the end.
As you should be. So, talking about working your way up through the field, what is your strategy for doing that? Because I mean, these cars, they're slow. They depend on momentum through the corners, but the draft is just so strong here. So, how did you end up approaching navigating your way through the field?
Well, we've got 11 laps to do, so you know, it was just a matter of trying to keep the car straight and get through it first. You know, starting off the back row, you've got nothing to lose and all to gain. So you really don't want to do all that work and get yourself forward and then have an incident and push yourself back to the back again. You know, by the end of the night, you want to have the best result possible, and that's what we did. We got second, so it was just a matter of making sure we got clean passes done, and then we got the car nice and straight all the way up to the front for race 2.
Well, certainly should be a good points haul for you in this final round of the season. And you know, looking at the standings as they were coming into this round, you might have just gotten enough points to elevate yourself into the top 10. I'm not too sure on that, but still a strong end to the season, one you can certainly be proud of. And I suppose now it's carrying that momentum into next season.
Yeah, certainly, boys. That's it. You know, we're trying to get the best results possible. Obviously, our season didn't go to plan with missing half a round earlier on, so it was a matter of just trying to get the best results possible on the board. And yeah, that's what we've done over the last couple of rounds, trying to get podiums every now and then. So yeah.
Well, before we let you go, Aaron, anyone that you'd like to thank from your garage?
Yeah, certainly. Couldn't have done it with the guys from Palmer's, Phoenix Smokers, Extreme Air Conditioning, Extreme Racing, Penrod Oil, Joe Morano from Harcourt's Real Estate, Motivate Training, Repco Australia, Murray Bridge, MB Weldon Engineering Co., Revolution Race Gear Adelaide, Living the Dream Australia, Murray Bridge Batteries, Open Pit Lane, and Mish's XL Garage.
Thanks very much for joining us. Aaron Oliver there, P2 in race 2. Excellent driving from him throughout the night. Final driver interview is Lee Harrison, I believe we've got with us in the box at the moment. Lee, a very unfortunate night for you. It just didn't go to plan.
Oh, look, race 1 was all good. We were in for a shot of the win there. Run out of legs just coming onto the main straight. Race 2, we did all right, and we were making up the ground. I think we were probably on for sort of in the top 5 somewhere, and then I just dipped a wheel too much inside that aggressive curb there on turn 4, and that was all she wrote. But look, at the end of the day, it's better than last week, and we all had a bit of fun. So I'm not gonna lose too much sleep over it.
It was certainly an excellent battle between yourself and Sonny Canchin in race 1, and it really showed one of the elements of this track here at Road America. The fact that these straights are so long, you got to be careful when, even if, you make a move in the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we were trying to fuel save as well, that sort of had to come into account. So I think myself and Sonny, we were both sort of, playing a bit of a cheeky game there for a little while where we were, rolling off halfway down the straight and maybe continuing along at 75% throttle. But you're right, this track was awesome. It provides great, awesome racing. And when you can drive next to someone like Sonny, you can trust him. He's not a 5-time world champion for no reason. So you can trust that he's not going to make a mistake. And unfortunately, I got sort of in the side of him as he tried to come around the outside of me, coming into the tunnel corner there. But look, is what it is, and we move on. I had super fun racing with Sonny all this season. He's been so clean, and me and him have had some great battles, and I'm looking forward to continuing that on next season in the Roadster Rumble.
Absolutely. So what's next season looking like for you? Any preparations having begun already, or you're just going to enjoy this end of the season while you can?
Look, I don't know if I would say enjoy the end of the season as if we're going to be taking some time off, because we're going to host some fun events in the meantime. And I'm starting up a new hire karting business as well here in Adelaide. So we've got plenty of work to be done there. It's going to include a full sim room as well with 10 simulators up on a mezzanine level. So that's going to be awesome. So look, there's plenty of opportunity for me to get heaps of practice in. But like I said, we've got heaps of fun events coming up while we finalise the details for the third season of the Roadster Rumble, and I just can't wait to get started. Like, we've been building such a good community here. The racing, I think, was pretty epic at the front, especially in that race 1 with what was a 12-car train and not much bumping or crashing. So look, super excited, and bring on next season.
Bring on next season indeed. Well, before we let you go, Mr. Harrison, anyone that you'd like to thank from your garage?
Yeah, always. Can't do this without the help of our awesome sponsors, Simworx, Serious Virtual Motorsport. These guys are awesome. They've backed the season from the championship from day 1, and yeah, they help us out so much. And their gear is absolutely brilliant. The pedals and their simulators are absolutely second to none. Wolfchester Automotive Consumables, love getting a hold of some of their products to clean up my go-kart and make sure that the road cars are looking nice and clean. Duo Trading, making sure that the oils are topped up in all our road cars as well. We've got AMD Freight, KP Tech, Haynes Constructions Proprietary Limited, Rinaldi Automotive Towing, Phoenix Smokers. Anyone looking for a Christmas present for their dad who loves a bit of meat, get onto the Phoenix Smokers team and smash them out a smoker or a barbecue or something like that. I can't speak highly enough about the meat that their smokers produce. And of course, it wouldn't be possible without Palmer's Australia, my personal favourite, the coconut scented body butters and body gels. My kids love it. My wife loves it. We've got a hopefully they're not watching, but Santa might be dropping a few presents under the tree from Palmer's Australia this week. So they keep my hands, like I've been doing some heavy lifting with the high kart track, building the track and the barriers. And every night I get home, I throw some Palmer's on to make sure that my hands are staying in tip-top shape. So can't do it without their support as well. And of course, you guys at SimSpeed, because you guys have been with us since day 1, even in other iterations of this league. So SimSpeed, we can't thank you enough for rocking up every single time on time and putting on the awesome show that you guys produce for us.
Thank you very much for joining us, Lee Harrison there, and probably the second last driver interview of the night, because Sonny Canchin has just jumped in for a chat with us. Welcome once again, Sonny, and well, third place in race 2. Race 1, a little bit more complicated.
Yes, thank you. It was complicated with the fuel. I didn't save enough towards the end. I kind of got carried away with the battle I had, with fantastic battle there was with Lee, and it was great fun. And yeah, not much luck with fuel, even including the past races, but glad to have finished it and brought it home at the end, though.
Indeed, you did, and that MX-5 experience really showing, Sonny. It looks like you've held on to take the Pro Championship for this season. A fantastic performance all throughout, but certainly the racing in this series so incredibly intense. It's not like you didn't have to work for it.
Yes, absolutely right. Yeah, not like I didn't have to work for it there. It was really tough, challenging, and I got to learn a lot and experience racing alongside fantastic individuals. And I was more than impressed at the start and trying to get in there and learning, and it was absolutely great. And what a fantastic experience. I mean, it could have gone either way. I kind of have to work hard for it, and racing along with guys like Lee and Brad at the start and all of the other guys while I was passing by, and it was a fantastic experience, to be honest, and couldn't ask for more. I'm totally very pleased and happy that it finished this way, but also it could have gone either way too. And I'd like to congratulate everyone's the winner, actually, to be honest.
Indeed, and we'll send our congratulations to you as well, Sonny, because P1 and the championship certainly no mean feat. Looking forward to next season, would you say that it's going to be business as usual, trying to keep that momentum up?
Yes, I will try to keep. I will try to keep the momentum up there, and it's gonna be tough. I'm sure everybody else has keen to actually up their challenge, and yeah, it's not going to be easy. So, but I'm really keen, and I'm looking forward to it.
As are we. Well, before we let you go, Sonny, is there anyone that you'd like to thank for your championship victory and podium tonight?
Yeah, championship victory. I'm glad it is what it is. I'd have loved more race rounds, but I'm sure there's more coming up, so I'm looking forward to that. But let that sink in, that feeling. But I'd like to thank. I'll take the opportunity to thank all my sponsors, Simworx to start with, and Wolfchester, Duo Trading, WBT, which is World Space Technology, Palmer's, KP Tech, and basically it, and also all of my teammates in the league as well. Special thanks to Wayne Losh and also to Greg Holmes for making this happen, for accepting me in the league and also helping me out with all the rules and regulations from a race control point of view. So thank you all, and also last but not least, you guys, as always, and fantastic. I look forward to watching the broadcast back again. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Sonny. It was quite the chaotic race. Often we didn't know quite where to look. So that's Sonny Canchin there. And Nick, I suppose that draws the curtains on tonight and the season so far.
Yeah, what an absolute run there by Sonny Canchin there, securing that championship win there in style as well with the podium. And awesome to see there as well, Wayne Losh kind of almost sneaking up on us, getting his first win in this championship as well. So a lot of celebrations to be had, a lot of shout outs to all the sponsors that we've had that have made this season happen, but it's definitely been in my personal opinion, one of the most fun seasons to watch, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I suppose it's time for us to say goodbye here on SimSpeed TV. The Roadster Rumble, of course, brought to you by all the companies listed there on the screen. Fantastic stuff, brilliant support from all these companies and the drivers as well. An absolute bumper grid here at Road America, and there was brilliant racing all throughout the field. So Nick Skariev was leading us tonight. I'm Reese Gardner, jumping in, and Scott Fountain on production. From all of us here at SimSpeed TV, we say thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's going with the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
It's very close. These guys, I want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh, my God.
God, what?
When your business relies on the highest level of service and support, trust Duo Trading to be your complete service provider. Duo Trading can provide your business with a complete local supply solution. Duo Trading, Tasmanian supporting Tasmanians since 1976.
Are you new to sim racing, or maybe a veteran struggling to reach the next level? Have you ever wondered how the aliens reach impressive lap times that seem impossible to achieve? If so, you're not alone. Most drivers reach a certain level and get stuck. But getting faster on track is easier than you think. VRS coaches are some of the best sim racers in the world and offer one-on-one driver skills training at affordable rates to help new drivers learn the basics and help experienced drivers break through to the next level. Are you ready to get faster and get off the iRacing roller coaster? If so, VRS one-on-one personal training is for you. If you've invested in your equipment, it might be time to invest in yourself. Just go to virtualracingschool.com and sign up for a 30, 60 or 90-minute session with one of our world-class coaches, and you'll learn exactly what to do for faster lap times and more podiums.